What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. And oh my goodness, do we have an episode for you today breaking down maybe the best unofficial visiting weekend of all time in Nebraska football history. I mean, you look at the list of players, 5-star, 5-star, 4-star, 4-star. We're all going to break it down. We're going to break down the players and what this means for Nebraska football. So if you like the content, please hit me a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. But without further ado, let's get started. So there's about 30 players that are going to be coming on a visit this weekend. Not all of them are confirmed just yet, so I'm only going to run through about 15 players I think are really prominent. But my goodness, man, again, I talked about it just now. Multiple 5-stars are in the building, and there's 10 plus 4-stars, a lot of 4-stars. I mean, okay, hold on. Let's look at the list real quick here. I mean, I'm counting about 15 4-stars. So we're talking about overall 25 and 4-stars. I mean, it's unreal. We haven't had this level of recruiting in one weekend ever in the last 10 years at least. So I mean, the reason why it's as hyped up as it is because we haven't seen anything like it in a long time. And again, so we're going to go and we're going to evaluate basically every player. Again, it's going to be just surface level evaluations. Obviously, when they commit or if they're getting close to committing, we're going to go in depth about them. But for now, I'm just going to tell you guys the name and why you should be interested in this type of player. So, my goodness. So, yeah, I'm going to definitely start off with Dylan Raiola. Now, this is the face of the visiting weekend, right? He's on the thumbnail. This is about his, I think it's like 6th or 7th visit to Lincoln. He was just here a month ago to watch Nebraska ball. But he's back, and, you know, I still feel really good about Dylan Raiola being in. You know, USC's been making a push. We saw that coming. I talked about it before. He was just at Georgia, and he said that he loves Georgia. He said specifically that what he liked about Georgia was that when he was watching their practice, that he knew how talented they were and he liked how they operated. So hopefully he kind of sees what Rule's about and sees a Rule practice and kind of can see similar things. Again, obviously the talent level is not going to be as good as Georgia, the reigning national champs. But it'll be up there, man. I just think the way that Rule operates his practices is definitely going to entice Raiola a lot. But to people, I say don't worry about Dylan Raiola. Okay, he's going to go on visits. He was just at Georgia. He was just at USC. He's going to be back in Georgia. He's going to be back at USC. He's going to be back there for official visits. He might even go to Oregon, right? We know this. We've known this. I told you this for months. Do not worry about it. Because at the end of the day, he's just testing the waters. Don't read an article and it says, oh, he's visiting Georgia, and then immediately conclude that he's going to go to Georgia. Because people are doing that. People make a big deal out of the stupidest things. Like, no, he's a high school recruiter who's evaluating his options. That's what's going on right now. So I wouldn't worry about it. I still think he's in. I still think there's a lot of reasons that he wants to come here. I think he does want to go to Georgia, though. I think there's a lot of incentives and Georgia's trying to pull him in, but I think at the end of the day, he's going to show up at Nebraska. And again, if I were to make a prediction on when he will commit, I'd say about May. He's going to want to go on those official visits like we talked about, and that's going to be about May, June. So maybe May or June. I'm going to change I'm actually going to change it to July. I think he'll probably commit early July. That's when officials are over with. And, yeah, I think about June. Or July, we'll see Dylan Raiola commit. And it's either going to be us, Georgia, or USC. So, but I feel good about Nebraska. So, yeah, he's going to be the one guy that everyone's going to want to watch here. Number 1 player in the country. The whole fan base knows who this guy is. So, he's definitely the most important player in this visiting weekend. But another 5-star, Williams Nwaneri. We talked about him a little bit before. But this is I'm going to pull up his stats really quick here, or it's just evaluation. He's a defensive lineman 5-star from St. Louis. And I watched this film before, and my goodness. I mean, there's a reason why he's a 5-star. Explosive. He puts his hand in the dirt. He's just a defensive tackle. And he's 6'5", 250. And he, again, explosive is the one word I use to describe him. All over the field, man. And I think this might be his second time in Lincoln. But, yeah. And right now, 24/7 says he's leaning toward Oklahoma. But I'm telling you, if Dylan Raiola comes here this weekend and says, hey, I'm coming, you want to come too? That speaks volumes. There's no better peer recruiter than quarterbacks. So, definitely keep an eye on Williams Nwaneri. Another one that we got, another 5-star, is Ryan Wingo, another St. Louis kid. Now, he's a wide receiver, 6'2". And watching a little bit of his film, he is the standard, typical type of rule receiver. And when I say that, I mean fast, quick, great hands, great route running, and another 5-star. So definitely, keep him in your eyesight. Another, again, we talked about it, another St. Louis kid. I would love for Rule and Co. to get a foothold in St. Louis. That is the one place that almost every single university in the entire country has failed to consistently recruit. It's just a hodgepodge of a bunch of schools every single year. And even Missouri, again, Missouri can't recruit it consistently. Alabama comes in, gets a couple players every now and then. Georgia goes in, USC goes in. But there's never a dominating presence in St. Louis. And if we can put a foothold in there and really start grabbing a couple really good players and getting to know a lot of the football programs there and getting to know the coaching staffs, that really speaks volumes. That can help us out in future classes. And you have 2 5-stars from St. Louis. I mean, they're already doing work trying to have an influence. So those are 2 5-stars along with Dylan Raiola, and those are the 3 5-stars for sure visiting. Brandon Baker, what's going on to the next one? He's a O lineman for Modern Day, 4-star. I think he's a top 50 recruit. Big player. Let me pull up his measurables very quickly here. But yeah, Modern Day, man. I mean, you guys know how they just consistently bring out 5 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. Consistently one of the best programs in the country. But yeah, 6'5", 300 pounds already as a junior in high school. I mean, this dude's massive. And currently, he's leaning towards Oregon, but man, I think we have a pretty good shot again if Dylan Raiola says to people, "Hey, I'm gonna come here. You want to be on my O-line?" So another one who there was one who is not coming anymore. I just want to mention really fast. Nigel Smith, 4-star D lineman. I was actually really hyped up to have him there. I watched his film in advance, and he's not showing up anymore. But he was a 4-star from Texas, D lineman. So that would have been nice to have him. He's edge. Excuse me. Ryan Pelham. Let's go on to the next one. Long Beach, California, wide receiver. He's a 4-star top 100 player. I might have talked about him in a previous video. I can't remember. But he is 6 foot tall, 170, and man, another speedy guy. All these same guys, you're gonna see this time again. Kind of shorter receivers who can run 4.4s, 4.5s. That's what Ryan Pelham is right here. So again, we're just going down the list of guys now. Nathaniel Frazier, 4-star running back. Now this guy gets me hyped up. Teammate of Brandon Baker at Modern Day. He's a 4-star running back. And my goodness, watching this guy's film, he plays like a 5-star. He plays like a 5-star. He has great speed. He's 6 foot tall. He's 200 pounds. He isn't light. He's not going to get on campus and have trouble gaining weight. He's a guy who's a bulldozer, but also has jets. I mean, my goodness, this might be the guy that they want to lock down the most, is Nathaniel Frazier. This is the best recruiting prospect I've seen us go after at the running back position. I mean, it's been a while. A.J. Allen was up there, but this guy's a way better prospect than A.J. Allen. I mean, that kind of speaks volume. Nathaniel Frazier is a top 100 recruit in the country. So I try to keep emphasizing, the list just keeps on going with top 100 recruits. So we get to the top 200 recruits. Man, it's wild. Carter Nelson's the next guy. In-state kid, tight end, top 200 recruit in the country. Recently got offers from Alabama, Georgia. I think he got a Penn State offer in there. Maybe even USC. This guy's been blowing up recently. I've talked about him in some previous videos. Again, you gotta secure those in-state kids. We haven't seen an in-state kid with the offers that he has in a long time. And again, this guy plays 8-man football, I believe. And I watched some of his film. Man, he's a gamer, and he can play anywhere on the field. He can play wide receiver. He can play tight end. They even play him in the backfield a little bit. Absolutely got to land him. And we really need to restore our tight end position. So that's another guy who I really feel like is very high on my list of needs. So I'd love to see us secure him. Another guy, 4-star offensive tackle, Andrew Sprague. Or excuse me, wow, I think I butchered that name. I think it's Andrew Sprague. He's from Kansas City. Another, again, that though you want to start making a foothold in Kansas City, Missouri, man. So the 4-star, he's being recruited by, the usual suspects, Kansas State, Missouri, but he's a 4-star. And that's where you want to start seeing us recruit some 4-stars, the O-line. Now, here's some interesting players I want to get to, some more fun cases. Jacob and Gerard Smith, both 4-star D linemen from Connecticut. They're twins. You remember the Davis brothers? Well, you have an opportunity to get another one kind of like that with these twins. So one of them is the number 1 player in Connecticut, and the other one's the number 2 player in Connecticut. I'm going to pull up their individual recruiting pages. Yeah, so Jacob Smith's a top 200 recruit according to 24/7. He's an edge, 6'3", 230, and his brother is 6'3", but he's 270. So they play completely different positions. Both of them are top 200 recruits, but that's wild to me. That's wild to me that one of them's 6'3" and 230 and plays edge. The other one is just as good, but he's 6'3" and 270, and he plays with his hand in the dirt on the D line. That's wild. And the fact that both of them are coming on visit, man, wow, that intrigues me so much. To get twins on here, man, who play different positions on the D line, that'd be massive. So that's a really fun case. I think I could be wrong. Okay, I am wrong. I was gonna say one of them might have took a visit before, but that's not true. Gatlin Bear's another guy who we've been going after recently. Wide receiver, 4-star, pretty shifty receiver from Idaho actually, but he's a 4-star and he's broke a lot of school records. I think I heard that about him. He's been recruited by Utah, Boise State, UCLA, kind of the Pac-12 schools, the usual suspects in that area. So definitely watch out for him. Rule's been trying to go after that guy a lot recently. He's been a guy that keeps popping up, so watch out for Gatlin Blair. Roger Gradney is visiting for our first commit in the 2024 class. Of course, the 4-star athlete out of Texas, so that's nice to have him on campus. I think this is his first time on campus because he basically received an offer and committed the next day. So I think this is his first real time on campus. So that'll be nice to have him there. Devon Hall's the next guy I want to talk about, 4-star receiver from Bellevue, of course. In-state kid, we all know him. He's Bellevue West. I've talked about him extensively. Somebody we need to lock down. And along with him, you got his teammate, Isaiah McMorris, another wide receiver from Bell West, who you also want to lock down. Both really talented receivers, both 4-stars. That could be a nice duo there. Mario Buford's the next guy. Another 4-star. Again, 4-star, 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 4-star. If you don't get the picture, I'm just running them down. But we have Mario Buford from DeSoto, Texas, the brother of Marquez Buford, top 300 recruit. And this guy is a stud, man. This guy should be higher ranked than he is on 24/7. Wow, he's a stud, dude. He's one of the best prospects from defensive back that I've seen in a long time. Travis Fisher was going after him before, of course, Frost got fired. I think we offered him as a freshman in high school, so Mario Buford's a guy to watch out for. And yeah, so I just want to over some other names. Ian Flint, a guy that we've been going after recently. He's a tight end, 4-star. Michael Boganowski, linebacker, 4-star we've been going after. He's going to be here. Caleb Benning, of course, the defensive back from Westside, son of Damon Benning, will be in town. And yeah, and those are basically the highlights. There's more. But overall, man, wow. I mean, just from me talking about all those players, I mean, aren't you getting hyped up? I mean, I probably talked about 20-ish players. 5-star, 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 4-star, 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 and they're all around. We got running backs coming in. We got wide receivers coming in. We got O-linemen coming in the picture. We got tight ends. We got D-linemen. We got, linebackers. Everybody's coming on this weekend. Man, it's going to be awesome. So, I really want to get to what this means for Nebraska. This could be a huge turning point for everything. But the one thing I want to say is that it needs to be consistent. When Frost got here, and when any new coach gets to anywhere, they're able to sell a vision. So it's really easy to pull recruits on campus and get them interested. So when Frost got here, he had recruiting weekends similar to this that had a bunch of high-profile guys and just a bunch of 4-stars around the list. Problem is, he didn't really pull many of them. Like, he'd have, 10-ish 4-stars and only pull one of them. So we need a rule that not only pull them, and I'm expecting him to only pull about 30% of the guys here, which would be, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. But he also needs to make this a common thing. Like, this can't be a one-time thing. This can't be oh my goodness, there's so many 4-stars and 5-stars coming on for this one recruiting weekend, and then we don't see any of them ever again, and we don't ever see a weekend of this magnitude ever again in Rule's tenure. So hopefully, and the way you replicate stuff like this is, one, you get commits. Because good commits want to join other good commits, and then they want to go on visits. And then win, right? Because then next year, you'll have the same deal because you can sell them the fact that you won, and you can get more visitors there, and it won't die out and dry out like Frost's initial hype did with recruits. So that's the first thing, is that we need to keep this consistent. Second thing is, if we land these dudes, what does it mean for us? Well, it means everything. It means everything if we land these guys. Well, I just want to talk about Dylan Raiola real quick, and I talked about him a lot. Dylan Raiola would be the most monumental addition to Nebraska football in a recruiting class in the last 20 years, by far. It wouldn't even be close. Why? Because not only is he a huge name, and that gives you clout with other fans, other programs, other coaches, but that gives you infinite levels of clout with recruits. And it's a stepping stone. It's a guy like Dylan Raiola that opens the door for you to land 5-stars on the regular. And it's guys like him who really can open the door to a whole new world of recruits. A lot of those 5-stars in the last couple classes, untouchable. There's no shot in the world that we could get them. If you get a guy like Dylan Raiola and you open the door and those recruits see, hey, 5-star to come to Nebraska, I want in on that too. Opens the door. The reason, development can only get you so far. You don't see Iowa winning natties. They have solid development. You don't see them winning natties, man. You don't see Wisconsin winning natties. You don't see Wisconsin going to the college football playoff. You don't see TCU did a really good job developing over the last couple of years. And when Dykes got to town this year, they made the college football playoff. They made a natty game. And then they played a team whose talent recruiting was way above them, and they got absolutely murdered on national television in the national championship game. So it's going to take talent to bring this back to win natties. And I'm not saying we're going to win natties at any point in time. That's not my mindset right now. That's not my goal. But it opens the door to have that more of a realistic reality if we so make it one. So, again, my 2 points. 1, you got to make this type of thing consistent. 2, you got to land them in the impact this does. Not only will it, be impactful if we land Dylan Raiola, but let's talk about a guy like Williams Dittman. If you land him, you stake a claim in one of the biggest recruiting cities in the entire country, being St. Louis. And that's unlike Miami, which is completely controlled by Alabama and Miami. Those are the two that just own that city and come in and take whoever they want. Or Chicago, they're owned by Ohio State a lot. Ohio State runs their Ohio as a whole, but Illinois, Ohio State goes in there and takes a lot of guys. Alabama goes in there and takes a lot of guys. But St. Louis is a place where every year it kind of switches up. There's not one school that just consistently has a solid presence in there. There can be years where Alabama takes 2 or 3 guys from St. Louis and then they don't get anybody in the next class with just as good talent. It's because nobody has a solid claim of territory, I should say. Matt Rule, if you start to land guys like Williams Dittman, you stake claims in major cities. Let's talk about Nathaniel Frazier. If you land Nathaniel Frazier or Brandon Baker, who go to Modern Day, you stake a claim in Modern Day, which is huge. And then you start to be able to pull those guys who would only previously go to Pac-12 schools. Or Alabama, staking claims. So it's really, really massive. This recruiting weekend, I can't tell you how big it is. And again, it's only official. It's only an unofficial visiting weekend. But that doesn't mean anything, man. I mean, we know how it is in recruiting. We know how it is. You accidentally bump into people. You accidentally talk to a coach. You accidentally run into other recruits and you guys talk it up, You accidentally run into a couple current players and they talk you up about why you should come here. You know how it is. But, man, this is so big. This is so big for our program. And if you land a couple of these guys, you start to build up hope in a way we haven't seen before in the recruiting aspect. In the recruiting world, we haven't had much success. I mean, we get top 20 classes every now and then. We aren't Miami, though. Miami can suck. Miami can go 4-8, and they will bounce back with a top 10 class and a couple 5-stars. We can never do that. At best, you'll get a top 20 class out of us. This is a huge step in the right direction to break that curse, get inside the top 20, and start landing some dang 5-stars, which we haven't been able to do since Baker Steinkuhler was here. I think he was our last 5-star. And what was that, 2008? It's been 15 years. It's been 15 years, long overdue. So, man, big recruiting weekend, everybody. I wanted to keep it short and savvy, but I hope you appreciated my analysis of these guys really quick. And it was really quick analysis, just breaking them down. If they get close to committing or they end up committing, of course, we're going to have a full evaluation on them right here on this channel. And, of course, any recruiting news, period, whether that's some more big visitor weekends or, a transfer or maybe, whatever. Right here on this channel, you know how it is. But, man, I'm just so hyped up. I mean, you can hear it in my voice. I'm so hyped up. This is such a big weekend for us as a program. Big, big weekend for Matt Rule and his Nebraska Cornhuskers. So thank you guys all for joining me here on the Wilson Dittman Sports Channel. If you like the content, please, please, please hit the like button, subscribe, and comment. And again, if you do subscribe and you comment, I subscribed, I will personally respond to all of your comments. So again, thank you so much for watching this one, and have a good one, everybody.